The one thing every human society has in common is marriage. It doesn't matter how isolated or backwards of a society. If you stick around long enough, then you'll find yourself attending something, at least resembling a wedding. That being said, it will almost certainly not be what you expect. In fact, it is most likely to be gross, confusing, terrifying, or any mixture of the three. But as you watch this list of strange wedding traditions, just think to yourself, who's really the weird one? 25. The blackening of the bride. Imagine the most disgusting things in the world. You got it? Now imagine all your friends throwing those things at you, covering you in grossness, and then tying you to a tree. This is the typical premarital humiliation that Scottish brides endure in certain parts of the country. Supposedly, if you can handle this, you can handle anything, including marriage. 24. A salty wedding song. Although weddings are usually accompanied by tears, brides and females of the Tujia people in China take matters to a whole new level. Starting one whole month in advance, the bride starts to cry for 1 hour every day. 10 days into the ordeal, the mom joins the picture, and then 10 days after that, the grandmother does the same. By the end of the month, every female in the family is crying alongside the bride. Why? Well, it's actually supposed to be an expression of joy, as the women weep in different tones, kind of like a song. A very salty, wet song. 23. Save the date. There's a group of people called the Dar that live in Chinese Inner Mongolia. In order to finalize the wedding date, the bride and groom are required to kill a baby chick while holding the knife together. Then they proceed to gut the chick and inspect its liver. If the liver looks good, then they're allowed to set a date. If not, then they have to repeat the process until they find a satisfactory liver. 22. Trees? In India, women born as Mongliks are thought to be cursed and likely to cause their husbands an early death. In order to ward off this curse, they first must be married to a tree. That tree is then destroyed, and the curse is broken. Poor trees. 21. Hold it in. For tribes of the Tai Dong community in northern Borneo, newlywed couples are required to be confined to their houses while not emptying their bowels or urinating for 3 days and 3 nights. Can anyone say bonding time? 20. A whale of a tale. In Fiji, not only are men expected to ask their future father-in-law for his daughter's hand in marriage, they're also expected to bring him a whale tooth. Let's think about this for a second. Excluding the black market, the only place in the world to get a whale tooth is from the mouth of the largest mammal on Earth, which also happens to spend most of its time underwater. If that doesn't scream true love and dedication, we don't know what does. 19. It takes two. In southern Sudan, people of the Nuer tribe believe that the marriage is not complete until the woman has had 2 children. If she fails to do so, the groom is able to seek a divorce. 18. Massai mucous. At a Massai wedding in Kenya, it's not uncommon to see the bride's father bless his daughter by spitting on her head and breasts before she leaves the village with her new husband. 17. Kissing party. In Sweden, anytime either the bride or groom leaves the table to use the bathroom, the other gets kissed. A lot. If the groom has to go, then every male in the reception will get a chance to kiss the bride and vice versa. 16. Butch up. These days, it's usually the groom that's concerned with packing on the muscle, but that's only because this is not Sparta. In Spartan culture, the women would shave their heads and dress up like men before waiting to get stolen away by their groom-to-be. Come on, you've seen 300. What did you expect? 15. A trashy time. In France, after the wedding ceremony is complete, the friends of the bride and groom would collect all of the leftovers, bits of trash, and anything else they deemed to be sufficiently gross within a toilet bowl, which they would then force the bride and groom to drink out of. Although these days the trash is often substituted with chocolate, you're still drinking brown stuff out of an actual toilet. 14. Fairies on the dance floor. In Ireland, when the bride and groom are dancing, the bride's feet have to stay on the floor. The Irish believe that if they don't, evil fairies will come and sweep her away. The logic? Evil fairies like beautiful things. The bride is beautiful, and the fairies can only get to her if she's not touching the ground. 13. Straw boys. This one comes to us from the Irish counties of Leitrim and Mayo. In these counties, there are 9 young men that are collectively designated as straw boys. On the eve before the wedding, the straw boys go to the house of the bride and dance with her. If there are any other women in the home, they dance with them too. 12. Aim carefully. In Uyghur culture, the groom will actually shoot his bride with a bow and arrow before the wedding. 3 times. Okay. So the arrows don't have arrowheads, but still, that's like getting shot with rubber bullets. Once the deed is done, the groom will collect the arrows and break them, thus ensuring they will love each other forever. 11. The human rug. On the Marquesas Islands of French Polynesia, after the wedding reception is over, the relatives of the bride all lay side by side in the dirt, face down. The bride and groom then walk across them like some sort of human rug. 10. Shoe thieves. In some parts of India, the groom is required to take off his shoes before approaching the wedding altar. As soon as he does this, mayhem ensues. Everyone from the bride's side of the family tries to steal them, while everyone from the groom's side tries to protect them. If the bride's family succeeds in their endeavor, then they are allowed to hold the shoes hostage until they get paid a ransom. 9. Polterabend. In some countries, the guests bring the bride and groom new dishes as gifts. In Germany, the guests do the same, and then they smash them. Supposedly, the noise scares away the evil spirits. 8. Animal attraction. Although no country in the world officially recognizes human-animal marriages, it is practiced in many countries like India to ward off bad spirits. Bow wow. 7. Motherly assistance. Some villages in Africa require an older woman to accompany the newlyweds into their bedroom on the first night of their marriage in order to show the bride the ropes. Although this is usually a village elder, sometimes it can be the bride's own mother. And you thought your parents were nosy. 6. Serious business. In the Congo, if you want to ruin someone's wedding, just hire a comedian. In order for the marriage to be taken seriously, the bride and groom are not allowed to smile throughout the entire ceremony. 5. Kidnapping the bride. Practiced in many countries throughout Africa and Asia, it can often lead to the women being raped and or forced into marriage, especially in nations like Rwanda. 4. Charivari. In France, the friends and family of the newlyweds congregate outside the newlyweds' home on the first night of their marriage, while proceeding to bang on pots and pans, yell, and just in general be as annoying as possible. Not only would this complicate the whole let's be a romantic thing, the newlyweds are also required to go outside and appease them with snacks and drinks. 3. Balaka. When a wedding is over in Korea, friends of the groom remove his socks, tie a rope around his ankles, and start beating his feet with fish in order to prepare him for his first night as a married man. Maybe we're missing something here. 2. Fat farms. As they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there is nothing in the world that exemplifies that more than the country of Mauritania. Evidently, there is a huge, pardon the pun, difference between a fat camp and a fat farm. We Westerners go to fat camps to get skinny, Mauritanian girls go to fat farms to get fat, and eventually married. 1. Wearing white. Although to Westerners, this seems normal, to most of the world a white bridal dress is very strange. In most countries, the bridal dress is very vibrant and full of color. So why are Western brides so limited in their options? It's said to have started with Queen Victoria in 1840 when she donned a white dress in her marriage to Prince Albert. In her day, this was very controversial because the color white was associated with mourning.
Liking our lists? Be sure to subscribe by pressing the button at the top corner of your screen. And if you're still itching for more awesome lists, click on these nifty thumbnails created by yours truly, and be sure to show us some love by liking, sharing, and commenting.